Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Fullerton College basketball on SportsNetUSA.net. We are live at the Hornets' Nest as your Fullerton College Hornets take on the Santiago Canyon Hawks. As Fullerton comes in at 19-7 overall, while Santiago Canyon SCC comes in at 18-8 overall, 5-5 in conference, while Fullerton is number 2 in the conference behind OCC at 8-3. This is the final home game, final regular season game of the season for the Hornets as they're going to move on to the playoffs. It's going to be an exciting tilt here at the Hornets' Nest as it's sophomore night as Fullerton takes on the Hawks. Corey Nayland, Avery Jordan, and Jacob Fanshaw on the call. And guys, it should be an exciting game tonight. Last time these two teams met, 70-69, Hawks way. Fullerton looking to rebound. Avery, what can we expect tonight?
Well, tonight, actually, let's get back to last game. Last game, we saw Rodney Rocket Henderson, the former Hornet. For those of you that aren't familiar with past Hornet rosters, the former Hornet transferred to Santiago Canyon College, dropped 37 points, 9 rebounds in the game against Fullerton College when they first met, on 11 of 20 shooting, 7 of 12 from the field. So you can expect another big scoring night from him tonight. You can also expect the Hornets to show up better defensively this game. Actually, better defensively and offensively. They only shot 38% from the field in the last game. So that really didn't do them any favors going off of that last game, seeing as how they lost by 1. And Santiago Canyon had 14 turnovers. I mean, 14 turnovers and you won the game still by 1?
And Jacob, you talked about turnovers in the pregame. Santiago Canyon, what's on their menu to get this victory besides Rodney Rocket Henderson?
Well, I'd imagine, so right now turnovers per game, they're averaging 13.6 in conference play. But I'd imagine the key for Santiago winning right now, they're averaging 90 points a game, sitting 4th nationally, and in the conference, 86.1, sitting 10th. I think the key to this victory tonight for Santiago, they got to jump out quick. Defensively, Fullerton College is absolutely pretty much almost locked down. Fullerton College is only allowing opponents to shoot 39% from the field, and beyond the arc, they're only allowing them to shoot 34%. So we know this Fullerton College defense is a pretty much locked down defense, very few scoring opportunities. If Santiago wants to win tonight or win again, as they did in the previous matchup, they got to put points on the board. Now that shouldn't be a problem, 90 points a game, but still, that's the key to victory for Santiago tonight. And it sounds redundant almost, where you need to score, but essentially that's going to be Santiago's key for victory, putting points on the board and maybe shooting beyond their arc.
And that fourth in the state with 90 points is going to be significant as we get into the starting lineups. And they just had sophomore night here at the Hornets' Nest. And we'll start off with Rocket Henderson, the sophomore, 6'5", out of St. John Bosco High School, the former Hornet. A.J. Garrity at 6'4", one guard out of Edison High School. Those two guys were the only two guys in double figures last game at 37 and 16, respectively. Antoine Jenkins, a point guard at 5'10", out of View Park High School. Xavier Preston, a 6'2", freshman guard out of Roosevelt High School. And Miles Garvin, the big guy, 6'4", 210 pounds, out of Tustin High School, rounds out the starting 5 for the Hawks. Doing triple duty here at the Hornets' nest. And it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Night here at Fullerton College. As we got the starting lineups for the Hawks, the starting lineups for the Hornets, averaging 72 points a game. As a team, head coach is Perry Webster. Khalil Stevenson, the sophomore out of Whittier Roosevelt High School, gets the start at a guard. Jason Richardson, the other guard, leading the team in points and assists, averaging 18 and 5 to go along with 5 rebounds out of Hawthorne, a bounce back from Cal State Northridge. Ronnie Reedus up front, the big man, 6'8", 240 out of El Cajon Valley High School. Akil Reese at the other guard, a sophomore from Westchester. Comet comes down to Orange County, and Vaj Rice, freshman, power forward out of Cerritos Valley Christian High School, rounds out the starting 5 for your Hornets. It should be an exciting game, offense versus defense, Hawks versus Hornets, for the final game for the Hornets for the regular season. And I guess, guys, you talked to Phil Thurman and talked about the postseason. We'll get into that during the lulls and the breaks in the action, maybe at halftime. You'll discuss playoff implications. Corey Nalen again, Avery Jordan, and Jacob Fanshaw. Avery, I'm going to turn it over to you as you're going to call the first half play-by-play. Jacob, you got the second half, and get us going.
All right, Corey. Well, Fullerton College is having a satisfactory season so far, to say the least. 19 and 7 overall, 8 and 3 in conference, making them second in the OEC. But tonight they got to worry about the new kids on the block in Santiago Canyon. This is their first season ever, and they're definitely making some noise. In their first season, they're 18 and 8, but the grind of the OEC schedule has them in the middle of the pack at 5 and 5 right now. Not exactly where they want to be. But you mentioned playoffs. They're playing to have a chance to get in right now. So this is grind time for them. This is going to be a really big game, and they still have one more game next or later on against Irvine Valley College. Now we're getting set for the jump ball. Fullerton College versus Santiago Canyon. Fullerton College's last game of the season. Ronnie Reedus in to do the jump ball. Going up against Miles Garvin, and Ronnie wins the jump. Jason Richardson now to set up the offense for the Hornets. Into the high post, down low. Ronnie tries to do a drop step, doesn't work. Out to the corner for 3, and that's good. Akil Reese for 3. Hawks now with it on the wing. Three-pointer up by the Hawks, no good. Garvin can't get that one to fall. Rebounds Akil Reese. Richardson in transition to Reese. Over to Stevenson, rotating it at the top of the key.
And with so many different scores for Fullerton College, Santiago Canyon opting to go for a man-on-man defense, trying to keep everybody in front of them.
Jay Rich loses the handle, and it's out of bounds. It looks like it's going to be a... Oh, it's Hornets basketball. It was tipped. Jason Richardson getting ready to take it out now. Score is 3-0, 19-10 left in the first half. 12 seconds on the shot clock for Fullerton College. Inbound now. Jay Rich with it on the wing, dribbles to the top of the key. Reese for 3. Off right. Nice rebound by Rice.
So a good second chance opportunity by the Hornets. Both teams coming out not tentative, but very reserved for the first couple minutes of this game.
Definitely testing the waters as Ronnie Reedus gets the nice and one.
A good drop step by Ronnie Reedus. Again, he had good position on the low block on the right side and just turned and put it up off glass.
Free throw by Reedus is good. Hornets now up 6-0, 18:45 left in the first half. Hawks now in transition. Jenkins gets it to Rocket. Rocket, nice swipe through move, pulls up mid-range, in and out, no good. Rebound Reedus. Now Richardson with it. Near sideline, nice pass to Stevenson. Stevenson drops it in the middle, beautiful pass.
Absolutely beautiful pass with inside the key.
Vaj Rice with a nice finish. Nice block by Jason Richardson. Great defense by the Hornets, and now they're out and running again.
We talked about that in the pregame. Fullerton College, excellent defensive team. That's what they pride themselves on.
Now Fullerton really working it around, trying to test the waters. Corey, you were just talking about it. And the Hawks end up losing it out of bounds. That's Jenkins that ended up tipping it out. But you were mentioning, Corey, they're really testing the waters, really moving the ball around to see what they can get right now. It's real early, but they're kind of just seeing what they can get. Now Jason Richardson brings it up, gets it to Rice in the high post. Back into Rice, puts up a nice floater, no good. And now the Hawks are out and running. Garrity, far side, looking for someone to pass it to. Gets it to Garvin. Garvin gets it to Jenkins.
And you know Santiago Canyon only gives or averages 90 points per game. You see they're on the smaller size, so they have to get out and run.
Rocket tries to draw the foul, can't get it. 8 seconds left. Garrity loses the handle, gets it tipped. Garvin with the mid-range jumper, off back iron, no good. Rebound Reese. Now Reese pushing it. Moves it to Jay Rich.
Oh
nice over the shoulder pass, and Vaz Rice with a solid finish. Nice no-look pass there.
Absolutely. Well, first I just want to touch upon that pass. That was some high-profile passing there. But it's funny, we saw a turnover in the previous possession for Fullerton College, something that's a rarity for this Fullerton College offense, only averaging 11.8 turnovers in conference play. Do you think that's something they're going to have to keep an eye on for tonight's game in trying to keep Santiago maybe away from the basket, so to speak?
Keeping them away from the basket will be key, but Rocket Henderson actually hasn't even been unleashed yet. It's 10-0, 17:04 left in the first half. The Hornets have been doing a great job defensively. The Hawks just haven't had a chance to get going offensively yet. But then again, it is early.
Now, considering that Santiago averages 90 points a game, is a slow start? Is this pretty surprising to you in the previous matchup? Or considering the previous matchup, would you consider the slow starts rather surprising for Santiago?
No, because it's only been a couple minutes. The Hornets have just been on top of the Hawks.
Right.
Now Jenkins uses a crafty dribble at the top of the key. Mid-range won't go, it's short. Richardson with the rebound. Reese for three. That's short, and the refs are going to call a foul on.
That's going to be on Garvin with the hold. You see the distinct height advantage Fullerton has underneath. Garvin is their tallest player at 6'4". Henderson is 6'5", about 6'8" with the hair. So that doesn't help him much down low battling.
And now out there for the Hornets, Khalil Stevenson, Jason Richardson, Ronnie Reedus, Akil Reese, and Vaj Rice. Jason Richardson tries to draw the foul. Ended up losing it, and Ronnie Reedus ended up getting it and got fouled going up for the layup. So he's going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws.
Another foul on Garvin. That's his second personal. And the officials for tonight's game, Charles Robinson, Danny Yee, and Michael Morano. 5 on the floor for Santiago Canyon: Henderson, Garrity, Garvin, Preston, and their point guard Jenkins. And in for Garvin will be Troy Rechtenwald out of Corona High School, 6'2". So makes the first. Rodney Reedus is 2 for 2 from the line. 4 points, looking for point number 5. He's got 2 rebounds.
Second free throw is no good. 16:40 left in the first half.
It's funny, you usually think the big men don't shoot well from the charity stripe. He shoots 68%, so a bit of a surprise he missed that last one.
Rocket with a strong drive and one, and he is fired up, and he's going to be going to the free throw line. They finally get on the board, 11-2. Rocket looking to make this 11-3.
And Khalil Stevenson gave up baseline to Henderson for his first personal foul, and Henderson's doing a nice job. They shoot 39% from 3, but Henderson can score in a variety of ways.
Exactly, and you think you'd want to avoid sending him to the line.
Free throw by Henderson is good.
You'd want to avoid sending him to the line. He shoots 74% from the free throw line. Somebody you'd want to avoid fouling.
They they bumble the inbound pass. Jason Richardson tries to get the block, ends up coming down on top of Jenkins. So that's going to be a foul, and Jenkins is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Jenkins did a nice pump fake going up first. Richardson came down, got all ball up top, but got all body down low, and that's why he's shooting 2.
And Richardson a little frustrated with himself now.
Jenkins on the season.
Jenkins' first free throw is good.
Jenkins on the season averaging 25 points a game, second behind Rodney Henderson. 5'10" point guard, shoots 49% from 3, 5 assists per game, misses the second free throw.
And now Jason Richardson, far sideline, brings it up. Gets it to Reese, opposite sideline. The Hawks initiating a full court press, and the Hornets navigating it just beautifully. Now rotating the ball at the top of the key. Richardson inside to Reedus. Reedus pivots, looking for some breathing room, can't find it. Three-pointer is up, and that's no good. Hornets with the offensive rebound. There might be a foul on the inside on Reedus, and yeah, the refs call it on Reedus.
He didn't get away with that one. That's the second time he lowered his shoulder and cleared out on the inside. They get him this time. That's his first personal foul as he got substitutions in the game for the Hornets.
Desmond Rowan is in for the Hornets, as is Roderick McCobb. And now here come the Hawks.
So 11-4 here. 15:47 to go first half.
Garrity throws a lob, and Rocket ends up losing the handle on it. He did have 2 guys under him. Don't know if that was the smartest pass, but he definitely tried to make something happen there. .35 left to go in the first half. 11-4. The Hornets on top of the Hawks.
Santiago Canyon goes into a 2-3 zone now.
And the Hornets are doing a good job of navigating the zone, moving the ball, trying to get the zone to move and stretch. Shot clock down to 5. Jay Rich pulls up from deep, and that's short, and now the Hawks are off and running, and Garrity's got it. Garrity pulls up for the transition 3. Is that good? Absolutely. Bottoms.
And I'd imagine that's something Santiago Canyon wants to continue to make Richardson do. He only shoots 38% beyond the arcs. That's not at all his comfort zone, so Santiago doing a great job.
Now Richardson looking to navigate the zone. Gets it out to Rowan, who pops out. Rowan, one-step dribble in, no good. Richardson, jab step, gets it poked away. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Jumper is good by Roderick McCobb. Nice jumper with the defense all in his face. 13-7, 14:30 left in the first half.
McCobb out of Colony High School won a CIF title while he was there.
Garrity now being guarded by Reese. Richardson gets his hands up just in the nick of time to disrupt that shot by Jenkins. And Reese tries to take it coast to coast, but kicks it out to Roderick. Back to Reese. Reese looking for someone to give it to, gives it to Vaj. Vaj back outside to Reese.
Great
inside to Desmond. Shots up by Richardson, and that's good. That's 3.
First bucket of the game to go along with 2 assists and 1 steal.
That was just spectacular ball movement there from Fullerton College, something that they're going to have to work around this full court press from Santiago.
Jason Richardson, active hands, gets the steal, in transition, goes up. Layup is good. That's 2 buckets in a row for Jay Rich. Now, 18-7, 13:35 left in the first half. Jenkins with it, far side. Moves it over, Garrity with it now, on the wing. Gets it to Rocket on the nice handoff. Rocket, nice between the legs dribble, pulls up for 3, off right, can't get it to fall, and he's struggling early.
A lot of fancy ball handling, but that seems to be his kind of bread and butter. Fancy ball handling, trip up the defenders.
Well, he did get off for 37 points in the last game that they played against Fullerton, and now Jason Richardson, far side on the wing. Gets it inside to Desmond Rowan on the low block, gets it back out. Roger tries to drive it, got nowhere to go. Des drives it, gets it to it. Oh, Vaj gets rejected. Roderick, nice pass in transition to Jenkins, and Jenkins with a nice finish. That was good vision by Rodney Rocket Henderson in transition, navigating through all the bodies and finding the open man. It's 18-9 right now. Timeout by the Fullerton College Hornets. 12:43 left to go in the first half.
And guys, don't forget, all games brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. That's all games brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim on SportsNetUSA.net. Miller Toyota of Anaheim off the 91 in Euclid at www.millertoyota.com. Check them out online, on the web. Go visit them off 91 in Euclid. Good military deals right now, online specials, and more. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports and education.
12:43 left to go in this first half. 18-9. The Hornets are up by 9 points on Santiago Canyon as they get set to inbound it. Roderick McCobb now. Roderick McCobb out there with Jason Richardson, Desmond Rowan, Vaj Rice, and Nigel Carter. Jason Richardson with the ball at the top of the key. Nice swipe through, gets tripped up trying to drive to the basket. That foul's going to go on Rechtenwald on the trip.
Yeah, did a nice job of closing out at the top of the key. Just couldn't move his feet as Richardson used the bounce to get to the bucket.
And Richardson attacks the rack actually very ferociously. Inbound to Roderick McCobb. Carter to McCobb. Back to Richardson. Rich for three. A little bit short. Ball's tipped out of bounds. That's Hawks basketball.
It isn't too surprising that Richardson has had this many open looks beyond the arc tonight. Points per game allowed for Santiago is 82 points. They have a problem holding their defensive side of the ball.
And now Jenkins bringing it up. Gets it to Rocket. Rocket drive, puts up a floater right over the tall trees of the defense, and that's in. 2 points, 18-11, 12 minutes to go in this first half.
Token pressure applied by the Hawks as substitutions will come in next dead ball.
Carter to McCobb. Carter with it. Tries to get it inside to Rice, and it's tipped away by Rocket. Nice active hands, and Garrity with it. Back to Rocket. Rocket now near side. Nice spin move, runs into his own teammate, still uses the pump fake and gets the shot up, and that's going to be off right, and he wants a foul call.
That was a force.
A little bit of contact was made, but I agree with you.
Rich, ball's now over in the corner to Desmond. Inside pass to McCobb, gets it tipped a little bit, but gets out of trouble. Carter, drive, jump step, puts up a floater, no good. Rebound is tipped, but that's rebounded by the Hawks. And now Jenkins out. Jenkins puts up a floater, that's short. It was tipped. Richardson now in transition, nice crossover move, gets it to Vaj Rice. Fake pivot, hook shot comes up short. Hawks now in transition, Rocket. Rodney Henderson out there with A.J. Garrity. A.J. Garrity, Sean Mader, Troy Rechtenwald, and Antoine Jenkins. And now subs on the floor. Travis Kettering is coming in now for Antoine Jenkinson.
So that's the 5th team foul on Fullerton.
And for the Hornets, Khalil Stevenson is now in as well. Made it to Rechtenwald to Rocket. Rocket behind the back dribble. He's got some nice handles out there. And shot clock now at 3 seconds. Three-pointer is up, and that's bottomed by Sean Mader at the last second. It looked like they pulled up out not even knowing what to do.
It's only a 4-point deficit by the Hawks, 18-14, almost halfway gone here in the first half of play. And you see the 2-3 zone since they went to it 5 minutes ago. Fullerton's D offense has been a little bit stagnant trying to get in the interior.
They have slowed them down, but they've still been testing the paint, and Stevenson puts it up. Nice pass from Jason Richardson. Hornets now in the lead, 20-14, leading by 6 points. McCobb with it, or Henderson with it. Rip through dribble, drives against Stevenson. Now it's Carter versus Rechtenwald, and Rechtenwald pulls up for the nice jumper. That's a three-pointer, and that's good. 20-17, a three-point game.
I do want to go back to Santiago's defense. If you're Santiago, you kind of have to, by default, you have to lock down that inside. But that's something Fullerton thrives in. They thrive in making their living inside the paint.
Inside pass to Reedus, and Reedus navigates his way to a bucket. 22-17, 9:20 left to go in the first half. And now the Hawks trying to move quickly here, trying to get another bucket, trying to keep their momentum going, and there's going to be a defensive foul on Ronnie Reedus. You got to watch those arms.
6 points on the other side, 3 rebounds for Reedus. Another forearm, that's his second personal. As you got substitutions, Jacob Garcia Jenkins back in. Garrity comes out. Along with, who was that?
Along with Rechtenwald. Now the Hawks, 20 seconds on the shot clock, 9:10 left in the first half, 22-17. Rocket Henderson tries to do some fancy dribbling, loses it, trying to split the double. McCobb gets the layup to fall, uses the defense and pushes them off just a little bit to create some space. And now the Hawks looking to set up some offense here. Kettering with it, gets it to Garcia. Garcia on the wing, trying to navigate Jenkins around the defense. And the Hornets have picked up a little bit defensively. Jason Richardson gets screened. Jenkins pulls for 3, and that's in and out. Rebound Richardson. Richardson now throws it inside to Vaj Rice, and he loses the handle, and that's going to be Hawks basketball.
Wanted to say, despite that shot being missed, beautiful screen being set, I think that's something Santiago might want to employ a little more, setting up screens, getting nice driving lanes for some of those guys, such as Rocket Henderson, that put emphasis on that speed. Use that speed and put some points on the board.
24-17, 8:20 left to go in the first half. There was a sub on the floor for the Hornets. Dylan Banks is now in, along with Khalil Stevenson. That 3 by Rocket is bottoms. Now the Hornets have Dylan Banks, Khalil Stevenson, Nigel Carter, Vaj Rice, and Roderick McCobb out there. Roderick McCobb being hounded. Nice screen by Vaj. Nigel Carter with the drive, dishes out. McCobb for 3, draws front iron. Rebound is tipped. Nice pass on the inside, and McCobb goes up. Can't get the layup, but they'll call a foul, and he'll end up going to the line. He got slapped right across the forearm, and now he'll go to the line for 2 easy ones.
It's the second chance opportunities for Fullerton. That size underneath. A nice cut by McCobb the first time to get into the lane after the second rebound.
And McCobb, a guy that hardly misses from the charity stripe, 92% shooting.
And just as you mentioned his great shooting, that first one is down 25-20. Hornets up by 5, 7:45 left, and there's subs in for the Hawks. A.J. Garrity is coming into the game along with Xavier Preston.
McCobb's got 5 points. Leading the way for Santiago Canyon is Henderson with 8.
Second free throw by McCobb is absolutely bottoms. Now 6-point lead for the Hornets, 26-20, 7:40 left in the first half. Jenkins looking to set up some offense. Dribbles around the D, steps to the side and pulls up a bucket. Yes, he pulls up and he nails it. It's an and 1.
So on the bucket, he pulls up for 3 on that left wing, and Banks did a poor job of closing out. He came at him, couldn't stop.
And he cut off his landing, which you can't do. You got to let the shooter land, or else they're automatically going to call that foul.
Yeah, exactly. Anytime the shooter doesn't have enough room to land and set his feet.
Three-pointer or free throw is good by Antoine Jenkins.
So a 4-point play cuts the lead to 2 at 26-24, and for Jenkins, that's 7 points.
And now McCobb with it, far side.
Hawks back to a man-to-man defense. Fullerton's going to go down low.
Vaj Rice looking to work one-on-one inside against Garvin, and that's going to be a good 28-24, 7 minutes left in the first half. Jenkins testing the waters, drives in and gets fouled on a hard drive to the basket. Tries to readjust but can't get it to fall.
I'd argue when it comes to Fullerton College and their offensive production, there's a bit of a mismatch there with Vaj Rice there inside the key and with matching up with Miles Garvin.
And now Nigel Carter getting ready to come in after this next shot. Free throw by Jenkins is good. So Nigel Carter comes out.
And that's 8 points for Jenkins.
And Akil Reese comes in.
Making 9 points for Jenkins.
And now it's a 2-point ball game, 7 minutes left. Hornets now facing the full court press from the Hawks. Ball almost tipped from behind. Nice bounce pass to Vaj Rice. Nice pass by Khalil Stevenson.
Partner, don't know if you saw it. That was more than a nice pass. Went in between his legs. It was absolutely beautiful.
Jenkins with the hard drive, absolutely denied. Oh, bad outlet pass, but it's tipped and he gets it back. Dylan Banks getting his tips or getting his passes tipped left and right. Active Hawks hands everywhere. And he's actually going to sub out for Jason Richardson.
Yeah, Banks had a rough 2 minutes in there trying to spell Richardson for a couple minutes, and Rechtenwald comes back in the ball game for Mater.
So
and now Preston goes to the free throw line to shoot 2 free throws, or to shoot 1 free throw.
Looking for his first points of the game and misses badly. Stevenson 3 assists already, 1 rebound.
And now Reese bringing it up. Gets it to Richardson, the primary ball handler now inside to the high post, back to Richardson. Reese for 3, bottoms.
Partner, I wanted to ask you, with Stevenson, Richardson, and Reese out on the field or floor.
Now Jenkins with it. Jenkins looking to use the screen. Uses Garvin. Garvin gets it out. The Hawks with a quick 3. Jenkins no good, and strong rebound there by Stevenson.
Wanted to ask you, partner, with Stevenson, Richardson, and Akil Reese out on the floor, you think offensively Fullerton College's approach changes?
Well, with Rechtenwald out there, Rechtenwald loses, didn't go for the pass actually, and Jenkins saved it. In and out dribble, Rechtenwald to the corner for 3, and that's behind the backboard by Garvin. Now ask your question you asked again.
Essentially, well, now we got Desmond Rowan coming in for number 1, but with Stevenson, Richardson, and Akil Reese, when they're out on the floor, does the approach change for Fullerton? You have a bit of a more speedier look for Fullerton out on the court right now. Do you
With
think
this current lineup?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely. And what would you say it changes to?
Reese bringing it up, facing the full court press. Oh, a questionable offensive foul called on Khalil Stevenson.
No question.
He didn't extend that.
No question. He lowered his shoulders, extended that arm. That's an offensive foul.
that looked like being little to me. It didn't look like an offensive foul.
Going to reset those lineups.
Now out there for the Hawks, there's Antoine Jenkins, A.J. Garrity, Troy Rechtenwald, Marcus Swain just coming into the game, and Rodney Rocket Henderson. And for the Hornets, Jason Richardson, Roger McCobb, Des Rowan, and Akil Reese, and Nigel Carter. Rechtenwald for 3. That's too strong. Rebound McCobb. McCobb to Richardson near sideline. Looking to make something happen to McCobb. Reese for 3. Off back iron. No good. Now Jenkins in transition. Moves it to Rocket. Rocket pulls up for a deep 3. And he nails it. And he looks at the sideline like, you didn't think that was about to fall?
Second 3 of the game, 11 points leading the way. Leading scorer in the game is Henderson. 33-29, 4:40 play in the first half.
Ball into the high post to Richardson. Richardson pivots, gets inside, puts it up off the glass and in. Nice post move from the guard there.
Exactly. Very impressive finger roll. Jason Richardson showcasing his athleticism.
35-29, 4:24 left in the first half. McCobb comes off, or Rocket comes off, and Rechtenwald drives straight to the rack. That layup's good, 35-31, 4:13 left in the first half.
5 for Rechtenwald. And they're back into a 2-3 zone. They have Richardson and Smart playing that elbow free throw line extended.
They've been changing it up quite frequently in the first half. Richardson pulls up for a mid-range bucket, and that's bottoms.
And that's what he can do. He reminds you of Kenny Barnes from last season, the way he can slash through the lane, but he's more versatile is he can step out and hit that three, and much stronger on the interior. Makes him a nightmare on the defense.
His mid-range game is definitely deadly. Rocket on the wing, gets it to the top of the key now, looking to use the screen. Nice crossover dribble. Couldn't get a step back to fall. That's what he really wanted. Now Jenkins with it, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Dribbles, drives to the rack, puts it up and over. Was that Roderick McCobb? Yes, puts it right over Roderick McCobb, the much bigger defender. Definitely knows how to navigate around taller defenders out there. 37-33, 3:13 left in the first half. Richardson loses the handle and it goes out of bounds. Can't grab the pass from Carter from the top of the key.
It was a little bit high for Rowan. He had him. He could have taken his time and thrown it up and allowed Richardson to gather himself.
3:04 left in the first half. Richardson gets the foul on Jenkins as he drives to the rack for the easy layup. Count that. It's now a 2-point game, 3:01 left in the first half, and Jenkins is going to go to the free throw line to try to make this a 1-point game.
13 points, looking for points number 14. And Jenkins, the team's second leading scorer with 25 points. He was only 5'10", but again, he gets into the lane, like you said, very well.
And that free throw is good. Now a 1-point game, 37-36, 3 minutes left in the first half.
Jenkins is 4 or 5 from the line tonight.
Now the Hawks still in the zone. Carter pulls for three, draws back iron, and that rebound's going to Rechtenwald, and now Rechtenwald moving in transition gets it to Jenkins, and Jenkins will slow it down. Head coach Todd Dixon barking out orders to his Hawks squad.
No surprise that Santiago wants to slow the game down. They're within 1 point. No need to get messy or sloppy.
Jenkins now pulls up for three in the face of the defense, right in Roderick McCobb's face. He says, "How you doing?"
Got 17 points, and guys, that's what free throws does for you. He got into a rhythm in the last 10 minutes of this game.
And now he's fired up, and they have a 2-point lead, Santiago Canyon does, over the Hornets, 39-37.
Full court press, they went back to it.
Richardson, jab step three, no good. Rebound, Reese. Reese now to McCobb. McCobb. Carter step back. Three-pointer is too strong by Rowan, and now Rocket in transition. 2-point lead for the Hawks. Rechtenwald drives to the rack, reverse layup, nice. Uses the rim as protection against the defense.
7 points for Rechtenwald. Timeout on the floor. 1:46 to play in the first half. 41-37. Hawks with the lead after they were down 11-0 to start this game, and they're taking over late in this first half. Don't forget, all games on SportsNetUSA.net are brought to you by Miller Toyota of Anaheim. Go on and drive by Miller Toyota of Anaheim and check out what specials they have on new and used cars off the 91 in Euclid at www.millertoyotaofanaheim.com. Miller Toyota of Anaheim supports community college sports, high school sports, and education. Don't forget, guys, Thursday, February 22nd on SportsNetUSA.net, Cerritos College softball versus Long Beach City College at 3 p.m. Ed, Mark, a couple others out there calling that game. Fullerton College baseball at noon on Saturday the 24th. They're going to host Pasadena City College. And don't forget, next month, Anaheim Lions baseball tournament on SportsNetUSA.net, one of the best high school baseball tournaments in the nation. Are you going to set the lineups?
Now 1:46 left to go in the first half. In for the Hawks is Rocket, Xavier Preston, Jenkins, Mater, and Garrity. And in for the Hornets, there's Ronnie Reedus, Jason Richardson, Akil Reese, Nigel Carter, and Roderick McCobb. Richardson drives in, gets it to Reese. 1 second or 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Oh, that looked like all ball.
And that did look like all ball. I thought he got blocked clean on that.
And that was a bailout by Henderson because Fullerton looks discombobulated on the offensive end. There's no rhythm out there. And on defense, they're worse than discombobulated. They look lazy on defense the last 3 times down the floor.
Well, they haven't been scoring in a flow of anything. First free throw is good by Akil Reese.
complacency. I think that's what we're seeing on defense. Why? Not exactly sure. They've lost the lead, unfortunately, but complacency. Defensively, Fullerton just looks complacent to allow Santiago these great open looks beyond the arc.
And Andre Kennedy checks in for Jason Richardson, and Troy Rechtenwald checks in for Rocket Henderson.
Reese, 7 points now with that made free throw, 3 rebounds. He's got 2 threes, make it 8 points, and they're going to need him once the playoff starts. Fullerton's, they shoot decent from 3, but just not lights out.
And now a 2-point game, 41-39, 1:15 left to go in the first half. Hawks are in the lead over the Hornets.
And you see Fullerton in the 2-3 matchup zone after that man-to-man got shredded.
Let's see if this helps their defensive problems. Jenkins drives in, 8 seconds on the shot clock, puts up a floater, and that's short. Rebound, Reedus. McCobb with it far sideline. Now in transition, slows it down and gets it to Reese. Now to Carter. Now they're back to moving it at the top of the key, trying to test the zone and get the zone to stretch just a little bit to see if they can find an opening. McCobb in the corner, drives, skip pass, 9 seconds on the shot clock, step back, Reese, way too strong, and Rechtenwald dives on the floor for it, tips that rebound, and the Hawks have full control.
And guys, that exemplified the first half of play. Fullerton's defense, or player, they don't hit the ground. Rechtenwald hits the ground, they get the ball, they have the lead, trying to extend, playing for the last shot.
Now Jenkins slows it down for the last shot. 12 seconds left to go in the first half. Shot clock is off, 49-31, or 41-39. Jenkins pulls for 3, that's short, rebound Reedus, and they'll hold it. They won't get a second shot up. At the end of the first half, 41-39, Hornets down 2 points to the Santiago Canyon Hawks. You're listening to Fullerton College men's basketball right here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Avery Jordan here with Corey Nalen.
All right. Everything with the book is all right? Everything with the book okay? Wonderful. All right, 15 on the clock.
Corey Nalen, Avery Jordan, Jacob Fanshaw here at the Hornets Nest on SportsNetUSA.net as Fullerton got off to an 11-0 lead to start off this ball game in the first 4 minutes. But since then, Santiago College, as Jacob or Avery is going to go ahead and get the halftime stats. As you guys are going to get the halftime stats, and we'll see just what happened. But Santiago College down 11-0 to start this game off. They were playing man-to-man defense, and Fullerton was going inside to get that 11-0 lead. About 14 minutes to go in the first half. They switched up to a 2-3 zone, and that really slowed down the Fullerton offense. That aggressiveness, that passion kind of went out of the sails for them. And now they're down 41-39. They're down 41-39, and they're looking at halftime here. And we're going to see if we're going to get a halftime guest to come on the air. In the first half, Fullerton was led by Jason Richardson. He had 9 points, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 rebound, as they're down by 2 points.
Also, Vaj Rice in that first half, he was being active on the inside, getting a bunch of rebounds. He got 2 rebounds. Ronnie Reedus also 6 rebounds in that first half.
So in that first half for Fullerton, we'll start off with the scoring. Khalil Stevenson had 2 points. Vaj Rice had 8 points. He was 4-7 shooting. Ronnie Reedus with 6. Richardson led the way with 9. Kiel Reese had 8 on 2 threes. And Roderick McCobb had 6 points off the bench. They shot 50% in that first half, which is not bad. 3 of 14 from 3. 2 of those from Ronnie Reedus, not Ronnie Reedus, Kiel Reese. 1 of those was by Jason Richardson.
And both Vaj Rice and Jason Richardson shooting pretty well from the field, 4 for 7 from the field. But on the Santiago Canyon side,
so you talked about rebounds leading the way as Ronnie Reedus with 6. You said earlier that he may have a double-double in this. A good opportunity with 6 points and 6 rebounds in the first half. Akil Reese has 5, a couple of those long. Turnovers, 9 turnovers by Fullerton. They had 11 in the first meeting, and so they're already going to match that. That's, again, that complacency that you guys were talking about in that first half of play. 9 turnovers, 9 assists. That's not a good ratio. And they shot 21% from 3, but they did shoot 6 of 7 from the free throw line. That was good enough for 85%. Again, biggest lead for Fullerton was 11 at the 16:43 mark in the first half. Santiago Canyon's biggest lead was 41-37 right before halftime. And the second chance points for Fullerton, they had 6 in the first half. That's why they're still in the game. And for Santiago Canyon?
Well, Corey, for Santiago Canyon, the story of the last game that these two teams faced off with, if you look at the turnovers, they were inverse, they were flipped. Fullerton had the lesser amount. They only ended up with 7 in that entire game. They're already up to 9 now, and Santiago Canyon only has 4. And leading them in points is Antoine Jenkins. And second is Rodney Henderson. Rodney Henderson shooting 4 for 7 from the field, 2 out of 3 from the three-point line. Antoine Jenkins 5 for 14, 2 from 6 from 3. And Troy Rechtenwald 7 points, AJ Garrity 3, and Sean Mader also with 3 points.
As a team in whole, Santiago hasn't done much shooting, which is, considering that they're averaging 90 points a game, quite surprising that it's been down to honestly 3 guys, as you mentioned, Rodney Henderson, Antoine Jenkins, and Troy Rechtenwald. Those 3 guys are essentially carrying this 41 points right now at half for Santiago. I'm a little bit lost for words. Not many guys are taking shots. You got Miles Garvin 0 for 3.
Well, you got Antoine Jenkins driving into the rack. When he gets the ball either on the wing or top of the key, he's looking to use a screen and drive hard to the rack, and he's getting a lot of their shots right now. Rodney's working for his shots, but he's doing a lot of the fancy dribbling out there right now, and it's, he's really got to work. If they could get him more open looks in the second half, maybe they can get him on and get him in a rhythm. Antoine Jenkins got in his rhythm just from going to the free throw line, because it's not like he was getting buckets that early in the game either. They set him up with those fouls,
right. And
now he's in a rhythm, and they're up by 2.
For Rocket Henderson, I think you mentioned they got to get him better looks. I think that's just it. I don't think he's going to get better looks than what he's already gotten right now. Fullerton knows they've keyed in on him. If for the viewers at home and for us sitting here on press row, they've keyed in on Henderson, and for that matter, I think they're going to start keying on now on Rechtenwald. Simply because those are your 2 most. Dish it out to Preston. Preston back down to Garvin. Garvin's going to give it to the speedy Rocket Henderson. Henderson's going to hold it himself, see what he can do. A nice lane is developed. He's going to shoot off the board. Garvin contested for it, and it's going the other way. Akil Reese. Akil Reese is going to take it himself, and he'll draw the contact.
So you're going to get the call fouled on Preston. As Reese tried to split the defenders, it came up. Preston thought he had all ball, but they're going to say some contact with the body.
So Akil Reese will shoot 2 from the charity stripe.
And the ref's explaining, because his arms are above his head, that is actually in the shooting motion. That's why he's on the line shooting free throws right now.
Disagree with that one. There was no way he was shooting the ball.
And Akil Reese sinks both of them. Although, despite being a 69% shooter, Santiago goes back to work, 17-26. Santiago only down by 1, 44-45. Has a nice fadeaway 3 there from Antoine Jenkins. And just like that, Santiago has the lead again, 47-45, 7-13. Stevenson's going to dump it down to Ronnie Reedus inside the key. They're going to call travel, and it's going the other way.
The further you get Ronnie Reedus away from the basket, if you're a defender, the better.
The better it is, yeah.
As Santiago goes back to work, Jenkins, he's going to take it down for the Hawks. Dishes it back off to number 5, Garrity. Garrity's going to dump it back off to Jenkins. Jenkins to the speedy Henderson. Henderson trying to work. Stevenson's got him locked up, but he's going to shoot a contested 2. And wow, that's impressive ball handling and even more impressive shots.
Henderson's getting fouled out there, and the refs didn't call it on that jumper.
13 for Henderson, 23 for Jenkins. They're 2 leading scorers on the season, 2 leading scorers in this game.
Going to dump it back out to Roderick McCobb. McCobb's going to dump it back out to Stevenson. Stevenson to Richardson. Richardson with an open three. Nothing doing off the inside. Nice rebound there from Jenkins. And the Hawks got control. They're going the opposite way. Back down to Henderson. Henderson's looking. He's going to shoot a three away from the top of the arc. Did a little bit of a scoop and a full court pressure here from Santiago. A bit questionable, although Fullerton College are going to take it past. They're past midcourt. Richardson passes it out to Stevenson. You've seen Stevenson and Richardson in a race with the most touches thus far offensively. Stevenson dribbling inside. Nice turnaround two. Nothing doing, though, off the rim. Henderson in transition. Nice move. Got him to bite. Shoots. Nothing doing off the... Nice rebound there from Richardson. Something that Henderson has been struggling with, but nice save there from Khalil Stevenson. I thought Stevenson had lost the handle. That was a bit of a... That pass had a bit English on it from Richardson.
And
you're going to call it out of bounds, last touch by the Hornets.
The Hornets. Coach
Rice. Perry Webster up in arms. They're going to try to figure it out, but although your substitutes for Fullerton College, number 33, Vaj Rice and Nigel Carter. Out on the court for Santiago, Xavier Preston, Troy Rechtenwald, Rocket Henderson, Antoine Jenkins, and A.J. Garrity.
And that's going to be a defensive foul on Roger McCobb, reaching around the screen to slow down the defender. And we've seen the last couple shots go up by Rocket Henderson. I mean, this kid just has the green light to just do whatever he possibly can to get his shot going.
Although, I'd argue that maybe not at times you shouldn't, because a lot of those shots were questionable as Jenkins is going back control, offensive control. He's going to dump it off to Preston. Preston's going to hold a bit. Rechtenwald off down to Garrity. Garrity's getting guarded. Rechtenwald, nice drive down the left side of the lane, puts it up with his right, and that falls down for two. 51-45, 15-17, Santiago on top.
9 points for Rechtenwald. He's only averaging 4 points a game.
And that was a really nice fillet that he just did right now over the top of the defense.
Absolutely, as Richardson's going to dump it out back to Stevenson. Stevenson to Carter. Vaj Rice working back the inside. Good to see Rice back in. And just like that, it's going the opposite way. Jenkins, Santiago's got numbers. Rechtenwald's going to put it up for a deep three. Nothing doing. But once again, Santiago, A.J. Garrity likes what he sees. Nothing doing. Nice rebound there from Richardson going the opposite way. Fullerton College doesn't have numbers. Lost track of it, but Stevenson was somehow able to get it back, and that's a timeout call for Fullerton College. Your score is with 14-42, Santiago 51, Fullerton College 47.
Now the pace of this game has definitely picked up in the last, 6 minutes or so?
And who's dictating that? Do you think it's Fullerton College, or do you think it's more so Santiago Canyon, College?
Fullerton is trying to initiate it, and they're the benefactors right now because Rocket can't get on. If Rocket's shots were falling right now, they would definitely be in full command of everything that's happening right now.
Right, and I do want to get back to Rocket Henderson and having the green light to go whenever he wants. I think it's a bit questionable. We've seen a lot of questionable shots from the top of the key. Some shots that maybe with a little more ball movement, they could have driven the lane. It's not that they've struggled. We've seen that they can drive the lane.
And that's him trying to impose his will on the game and trying to force his way to get involved right now.
Sometimes you can do too much. I'm a firm believer in that. Sometimes as a player, you can try too much, but as we're back to action here, Garrity's going to inbound it. Jenkins seems to be the offensive captain, so to speak, and he's going to dictate how the plays are going to go. Jenkins is going to dump it off to Rechtenwald. Vaj Rice has got him locked down at the top of the key. Rechtenwald doesn't like what he sees. He's going to dump it back off to Garrity. Garrity's manned up with McCobb. Richardson claims Antoine Jenkins is his man, and Fullerton College is going man. 7 seconds on the shot clock, and somebody's got to do something. Jenkins almost trying to save it out of bounds, and it's going Fullerton College's way. Carter to inbound, 14-15 left in the game. Your score is Santiago 51, Fullerton College 47, as Jason Richardson's going to take it out. Ops against it, Carter. Back down to Richardson. Has McCobb open out in the wing. Passes it to Vaj Rice. A bit of too much air in that pass. Almost was stolen. Vaj Rice is going to go up with it himself. Easy does it. Nice 2 points there for Rice. 51-49 as Santiago takes it back out. Antoine Jenkins once again going to set the tempo. Rocket Henderson, nice screen set there. Jenkins pulls up three, corner, nothing doing off the rim. Richardson with the rebound, going the opposite way. Richardson to Carter. Carter doesn't like what he sees. Sets nice mid-range jumper. Nothing doing off the glass. Although Vaj Rice with the rebound.
And now the Hawks are gift wrapping points for the Hornets. It's only a 2-point game.
Gift wrapping. I wouldn't say that, partner, although Santiago is allowing Fullerton College to kind of impose their will inside the key, which is something we talked about in the pregame they'd want to avoid, as Vaj Rice will shoot 2. Substituting in for Santiago College, number 33, Sean Maurer. So your 5 out on the court are Henderson, Garrity, Jenkins, Maurer, and Rechtenwald. Your 5 out on the court for Fullerton. At the line, number 33, Vaj Rice, Nigel Carter, Jason Richardson. Excuse me, Richardson is not. It's Roderick McCobb and Khalil Stevenson. As Antoine Jenkins goes back to work with 13:27, he's going to dump it off to Henderson. Khalil Stevenson's got his man. Nice drive down the right side of the lane. Called defensive foul.
So Carter tried to get there, but he slid with Rocket Henderson as he came down to the right block. So, yeah, good call on the blocking call, and it should be a shooting foul for Henderson.
Yeah, it is. It was a good job by Henderson absorbing that contact and landing.
This is only Henderson's second trip to the line tonight. He's 1 for 1 thus far. So batting 1,000, they'd say. 13:21 left in the game. Your score is, after that free throw's been made, Santiago 52, Fullerton College 50.
Now we saw Antoine Jenkins get on from the free throw line in the first half. Let's not have this be Rockets' little elixir right here going to the free throw line with that second free throw falling.
You don't want a double-edged sword with Antoine Jenkins and Rodney Henderson. As we go back to work here with Fullerton College, Khalil Stevenson's going to take it out himself. He's manned up, back down to Richardson. Richardson back down to McCobb. Richardson's manned up at the top of the key. Your score is Santiago 53, Fullerton College 50. Nice nifty move there from Stevenson. He'll put it up from the left side. Nothing doing. Vaj Rice with the tip right into Jenkins' hands, but his heels were clearly out of bounds.
He didn't establish himself in the inbounds, and that's why they're going to say Fullerton ball.
It's an illegal player, right? You can't step out and step back in?
Didn't establish himself coming back in.
If Vaj Rice was able to get his left hand up, would have been able to get the rebound as Richardson looking to inbound. He's going to inbound it out to Nigel Carter, top of the key. Richardson's going to loop back around. Nice pass down to Stevenson. Stevenson inside, working his man. And it looks like they're going to call that defensive foul, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, sir, called on Troy Rechtenwald. And just like that, Fullerton College looking to inbound again for the second straight time in a row. 12:49 left in the game. Still a 3-point deficit for Fullerton College. Santiago 53, Fullerton College 50.
And if you look, when the ball's on the near side near us, and Jason Richardson runs over to the opposite wing, he's very open over there. If they can get it to him and get the defense to rotate and
wide
move
open,
it,
in fact. As that's everybody's lost in transition as Khalil Stevenson went launching over his man. And I do believe, it does appear to my eyes, that Roderick McCobb came up with that loose ball foul. And it looks like it's going to be a jump ball as Coach Perry Webster is going to lobby for his team. And it'll still be Fullerton College ball here. Rightfully so, though. McCobb did, well, to be fair, Khalil Stevenson launched over his man, and I do believe that was number 33, Sean Maynard, out down on the court. And Stevenson just launched at him like a rocket. Okay, back to action here, 12:42. Score still is 53-50 in favor of Santiago Canyon. Khalil Stevenson dumps it back out. Richardson. Nice pass down to Vaj Rice inside the key. Nice turn. And that's going to be an easy two, but wait a minute, they're going to call.
It's the elbow.
Yep, he's got the elbow once again. Oh, and a technical foul on Perry Webster. He's got to watch himself, mind his P's and Q's. And it does appear that the referee, he is done discussing that matter. So that is something you want to avoid if you're Fullerton College, giving up 3 points essentially.
But that is the same type of elbow that Ronnie Reedus threw a couple plays ago that he got called for the offensive foul on. It caused another turnover, and now it's about to cost them points.
And no surprise here that Rocket Henderson heading to the line, and he's 2 for 2 thus far, actually 3 for 3 tonight, so he's, once again, still perfect at the charity stripe. Misses his first one of the night.
The jinx, the jinx.
And he gets a roar of approval here from what appears to be a sellout crowd for Fullerton College in the Hornets' nest here. As his fourth one goes up, and it's good. So he's 3 for 4 from the charity stripe thus far. But although, like you mentioned, you want to avoid getting him in that rhythm. And he's only missed one. In his mindset, he's still got to be well endowed or doing all right. 4 for 5 from the charity stripe. As your score now is 54-50, still in favor of Santiago Canyon. 12:32 left in the game. As Jenkins is going to pass it back out to Garrity. Garrity's inside the key. Henderson's got it. Nice drive down the left side. Oh, hop, skip, and a jump. Didn't get the call, and they're going to put it up. And they're going to call a defensive foul on Vaj Rice as once again, Rocket Henderson finds himself at a familiar spot.
I'm going to say he was in the restricted area. Sorry, Avery.
Oh, go ahead.
So 14 points for Rodney. 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and a steal.
Nice aggressive take by Henderson as
you know
he makes
what
that
sounds
first
like to
free
me?
throw. Nice aggressive take by Henderson as he makes that first free throw.
Sounds like Rocket Henderson's in the process of maybe putting together a double-double. They got to be careful.
And both free throws are good by Henderson.
Your score is with 12:24, Santiago 56, Fullerton College still trailing 50 as Stevenson goes back to work. So a bit of a change in pace here as Stevenson's taking it out, no longer Richardson. Carter back down to Stevenson. Stevenson working the left side of the key, back down to Richardson. Thought about it, didn't like what he saw. Nice little stutter step, mid-range jumper, and that's nothing but net as he nails it down to 2, and that cuts the lead back down to 4 for Fullerton College as Santiago still nursing that as Jenkins goes back. Nice ball handling, nice drive. And they're going to call that an offensive charge, and it's going the other way for Fullerton College.
I don't know about the charge.
I don't know about the charge part.
But it's definitely a travel.
Yeah.
Either way, it should be Fullerton's ball. And going back to Jason Richardson on the offensive side, nobody would be disappointed if he never took another 3 because his 18 feet in is so strong, he'll shoot 70% if he takes 10 shots.
Absolutely, as Richardson goes back to work. And it does appear that Garrity is the guilty party.
And this is the one issue we have with the game of basketball, gentlemen, is when coaches start to politic and get their calls and start to say, you know, this should be called, this should be called. It bogs down the game. The officials take interest in that. Yeah, they're going to make some calls, but it just makes the game slow and awkward.
Open look for Nigel Carter from the right side. Nothing doing. And substituting in was Miles Garvin, number 34, who in fact did get the rebound as Jenkins goes back to work at the top of the key, decides to slow things down a little bit. No need to rush with the lead, 58-52 in favor of Santiago, 11:24 left in the game. Rocket Henderson back to work, is going to drive the right side, put it up, surprisingly was able to put it up. And it does appear that McCobb came up with it, and Jason Richardson streaming down coast to coast, puts up a nice put, nothing doing, up, behind his back. Jenkins going to put it out to Garvin. Garvin didn't like what he sees, going to set it up. Rechtenwald, downtown 3, nothing doing. Nice rebound there from Garvin. Vaj Rice got it back. And Richardson looking to slow down the tempo just a bit here. 10:52 left. Fullerton College still trailing by 4. Nice dump off to Stevenson. Nice baseline drive. An easy 2 points.
We've seen some nice ball handling out of Rocket Henderson tonight.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We've seen nice ball handling on both sides. Fullerton College and Santiago. Timeout called for Santiago College. Your score is Santiago College 56, Fullerton College 54, 10:37 remaining in the game.
Now Rocket Henderson is trying to get off offensively. He's trying to get the momentum going, but the jumpers just aren't falling. He's finding more luck at the free throw line. If he could just drive, get a little more contact and get to the free throw line and get a couple buckets just to keep his team in the lead, that would be good enough. On the Fullerton side, though, Jason Richardson can't come down and do those really quick floater shots with, in transition with 2 or 3 guys back on defense already.
And one thing I like for Fullerton College offensively is they almost everybody seems to get a touch. Richardson, Stevenson, Reese, Nigel Carter. Everybody gets a touch, and everybody has an opportunity to either shoot, drive the lane, or set a pick. And I think that's the kind of movement that you need to see, and it's tripped up Santiago Canyon. Well,
the key for Santiago Canyon is getting Vaj Rice or actually Ronnie Reedus the ball out of the paint, because you're forcing him to make a move that's more than just a post move. And we've already seen him get fouled or create the offensive foul, and Vaj Rice as well, but Vaj did his in the paint. But still, the more they have to do to get to the basket, the better it'll be for them.
And A.J. Garrity has substituted in for Troy Rechtenwald, as Jenkins goes back to work. He's going to dump it off to Henderson. Henderson back down to Garvin. Garvin to Henderson, and that was a contested pass there. Wow, that's a deep three there for Henderson. No dice, and it comes up. Nigel Carter comes up with the rebound. He's going to set his feet, dumps it off to Richardson. Everybody's going to slow it down just a bit. Back down to Stevenson. Stevenson's going to do a trot down to the right side of the key. Dishes it back out, and everybody got a touch there. Richardson driving baseline, puts it down to Vaj Rice. Easy 2 points, and we're knotted up at 56 with 10:02 left in the game. As Jenkins goes back to work, top of the key. Sets, he's going to dump it off to Sean Mader. Mader back down to Garvin. Garvin back down to Jenkins. Jenkins working his way around Vaj Rice, who's far away from his usual place. Backed out, and Mader has an open shot. Nothing to, oh, slam back down by Rocket Henderson, and that absolutely ignites that Santiago sideline as they're back inside this game with 9:36, leading by 2.
And that's 18 for Henderson.
Oh, my gosh. Henderson having himself a game with 18 points.
I hate that foul.
He had 37 or 27 in their last meetup.
He had 37 in the last meetup with, against Fullerton College.
Causing nightmares there for Coach Perry Webster on there. As Stevenson, he's going to head to the line, Khalil Stevenson, and he'll shoot 2.
Rocket Henderson on that last dunk had to throw on the old Boba Fett jetpack, hop up there and get that dunk.
He engaged his rocket thrusters as Stevenson got his own board, his own rebound.
So that was the front end of the 1-and-1 was missed, and Fullerton before that was on a 6-0 run to tie it up at 56, and now they're down by 2 after that dunk.
So Nigel Carter to inbound it. Looking at Stevenson, he'll dump it off to Stevenson. He's got McCobb open up in the ring. McCobb back down to Vaj Rice inside the key, puts it up, although the basket won't count.
Rice.
Oh, I thought they were going to call a travel.
Foul called on number Miles Garvin. And that does appear to be his 4th personal foul, if I'm not mistaken.
That looks like a travel to me on everything that looked like a travel to me. I didn't think they were going to give that to him.
So if you're Santiago, you got to be awfully careful now. Miles Garvin, 1 more foul and he's out of this game. Fouled out of the game, and that's size that you cannot afford to give up if you're Santiago Canyon. They don't have much in the way of size inside the key. As Vaj Rice sinks the first one, that makes it Santiago 58, Fullerton 57 with 9:21 remaining in the game. Lots of implications for tonight's game as Vaj Rice squares up for the second one, puts it up, easy does it, sunk both, and we're knotted up again at 58, 9. 9:15 remaining in the game, passes it out to Garvin. Garvin set up around the key, he's going to dump it off to Henderson. Nice screen there, Henderson works his way around it, passes it back off to Mader. Mader likes what he sees, nothing doing, and Vaj Rice with the rebound. Oh my Lord, throwing the elbows, and he connected with Garvin in the face. And my, oh my, don't think it was intentional, but Garvin took a shot. Vaj Rice, everybody's going to walk it off, and everybody seems to be okay. Undoubtedly a foul.
That should probably be an offensive foul.
Guys, it's not intentional, but it should have been an offensive foul. The way the rules have been called in college basketball the last 3 years, anything above the shoulders and you're moving your elbows, especially if you connect to the face, that's an offensive foul. That is an offensive foul. So it should have gone on Vaj Rice, but they're going to call Garvin with the foul, so he's going to foul out.
Substituting in for the Hawks, number 12, Xavier Preston.
And that's going to put Rice on the free throw line.
Yeah, again, he'll shoot. So a 1-and-1. If he makes the first one, grants him a second one.
He's got 15 points coming into the game, average 9 on the season.
Squares his shoulder, and in a game as tightly contested as this has been, every point matters as that puts Fullerton in the lead now, 59-58, nursing a 1-point lead with 9:05 remaining in the game.
His first lead of the second half.
Vaj Rice squares him up, so he's So he's perfect in this stretch that we've seen him. 4 for 4 in these last 2 minutes or a minute or so. As 9 minutes left on the clock, Fullerton trying to protect a fragile 2-point lead as Jenkins goes back to work. Nice screen set there by Henderson. Although Jenkins almost may have outran the screen.
That's a blocking foul. Yep.
Blocking foul called on Khalil Stevenson.
You can't force him out of bounds like that. You got to give him some kind of leeway, even though you are supposed to use the baseline as a defender.
And that'll have Antoine Jenkins at the line. Another familiar sight that we've seen. It almost seems to be Jenkins and Henderson, and it was a 1-for-1, and he's unsuccessful. Missed that one. Your score still is 60-58. Fullerton College in the lead. And it does appear that Vajrais got called once again for those elbows. Whew.
The Hornets are just creating chances now for the Hawks.
Yes, but to be fair, now granted, we're not paid to officiate, but to be fair, I didn't see the contact there, as substituting in is Ronnie Reedus here. You're 5 out on the court for Santiago. A.J. Garrity, Jenkins, Rechtenwald, Henderson, and Preston. You're 5 out on the court as Henderson drives down the right side. Contested against Ronnie Reedus. Surprised he was able to get it up. Got his own board just for a second. Richardson slapped it out of his hand. Going the opposite way. Nice pass there to Stevenson. Stevenson puts it up. Oh, couldn't get it. Ronnie Reedus had it. Slapped it out of his hands. And now we're going the opposite way. Rechtenwald's going to take control. Dump it off to Jenkins. And Jenkins is going to dictate exactly what's going to happen there. Dixon screaming plays from the side. Back down. Passes it out to Rechtenwald. Rechtenwald going around the left side. Preston hasn't seen much action yet. Not a lot of touches. And there's 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock. And wow, a lane opened up, but I'm surprised Jenkins didn't like what he saw. Garrity from the corner 3, and maybe that's why. He knew Garrity was going to sink it. And Santiago calls a timeout, and just like that, Santiago reclaims the lead. 61-60 in favor of Santiago. 7:50, timeout call.
Now this is 7 minutes and 50 seconds of crunch time for Santiago City, or Santiago Canyon, I'm sorry.
And don't forget, guys, this is Fullerton College basketball on sportsnetusa.net.
Santiago Canyon's in crunch time, like we said before. This is the end of their schedule, and then they have one more game later on this week against Irvine Valley College. They have to win here, and they have to win later on this week in order just to get a shot at playoffs.
Right, and I'm glad you brought up the implications of tonight's game because I felt we haven't stressed it enough. Tonight's a very big game, but more so for Santiago than it is for Fullerton College, because Fullerton College, they're comfortable with where they are. They're not fighting for a position spot or, well, more they're not fighting to get into the playoffs.
Well, win or lose, they're just sitting at home.
Exactly. Now, Santiago, they've got something to play for. So I like what you said there, partner. It's crunch time, and for the Hawks more so than ever. The Hornets, they just got to hold on for the ride, and hopefully they can put together a nice scoring run like they did. But right now, Hawks need to crunch down as Stevenson's going to take it out. Nice ball control there from Stevenson. I like watching Stevenson dribble. He's got pretty hand as Stevenson's going to dump it back out to McCobb. McCobb's going to hold it himself. Back down to Nigel Carter. Had an open look. Didn't like what he saw there. McCobb's going to drive from the right side. Oh, lots of contact. And it does appear to be called a defensive foul.
That looked like it was all ball to me.
And Preston is the guilty party there, and he'll send McCobb to the line.
I think the referee didn't have the angle on that one and gave him the benefit of the doubt when he was driving to the rack. But this is going to be 2 shots for McCobb, down 1 right now.
Substituting in Desmond Rowan, so we're starting to see a little more speed out on the court for Fullerton. You think this is foreshadowing essentially of what they're going to come out in this next possession?
Yeah, but they need to focus on rebounding if they're going to take Ronnie out.
Absolutely.
Rebounding and pushing the break.
As McCobb sunk both of them, that'll make it 62-61, 7:28 in favor of Fullerton College. As Jenkins is going to take it out, he's going to slow it down a bit. And I like that Santiago slowing it down. No need to rush as Jenkins passes it out to Garrity. Garrity's going to dump it back off. Nice screen set there, although Richardson ate that screen up. So Jenkins not much to work with. He's going to drive. Defensive foul called. Defensive foul called on McCobb. Surprised it wasn't a travel. Looked an awfully lot like a travel there from Jenkins.
Jenkins has done a really good job of penetrating this entire game today, and the fact that he's able to drive and and absorbs so much body contact, even though he's little. It's really benefited him because he's been at the free throw line. What's this, his 4th trip to the free throw line?
I do believe so, as Jenkins sunk the first one, substituting back in. Desmond Rowan had a very short timeout on the court, as back in is Ronnie Reedus. But yes, back to the point though. Jenkins has found himself on this charity stripe very much tonight, and it's kept, I'd argue it's kept Santiago close, as they're looking to employ a full court press there with Jenkins and Preston trying to guard Carter and Stevenson. Stevenson back down at the top of the key. Stevenson's going to dip it out to Richardson. Richardson's going to set his feet a little bit, passes it back out to Stevenson. Stevenson lost control, bounced it off of his left leg, and just like that, we're going the opposite way. Hawks in control, and nice move there from Jenkins. Oh, baby, did a skip to my loo, but no dice off the rim, and Richardson going just the opposite way. He's going to go coast to coast himself. Nice finger roll, easy 2 points. With 6:38, Fullerton College has reclaimed the lead, a 1-point lead, 64-63. And we're back in action here for the Hawks. Garrity tried to set the screen, coming off the let. He's going to try it again, and he's going to free up Jenkins just a bit. Henderson barking out plays from top of the key. Henderson's going to pull for a deep 3. Oh,
no
almost,
love.
Yeah, almost.
No
Too
love.
close for comfort if you're Fullerton College. As McCobb, he's going to take it out. He's going to dump it out to Stevenson. Stevenson to Carter. Carter, nice mid-range jumper. Too much English. Soared right over. Ronnie Reedus looking for something. Tried to put it up. No dice. Was kind of stuck there going in circles. And that is a defensive foul called on Roderick McCobb.
Ronnie should have just went up.
Yeah, a bit surprising. I mean, he's the tallest guy out on that court there, undoubtedly.
I mean, that would have been an easy foul a lot sooner if he would have just went up, and he was the biggest guy there, but
Substituting in for the Hawks, Miles Garvin, Sean Mader. Now, Sean Mader, he's got to scare Fullerton College a little bit. He took some high percentage shots there the last time he was out on the court.
if you paid attention to the last couple trips, Rocket Henderson has been getting some shots that just are not falling. It seems to be the chink in the armor of the Hawks, because they've been relying on Henderson to pretty much be their golden gun all year.
With 6 minutes left in the game, Fullerton College nursing a 3-point lead, 66-63 in favor of Fullerton College. And Henderson's going to go to work from the left side, drives. Going to call him on that forearm use there. Something he's gotten away with a lot of this game, I'd argue.
Henderson?
Yes.
He uses it on his between the legs crossover to try to create some space, but he really hasn't been creating much today. Most of his jumpers have been contested, highly contested, and they've been off.
As once again, he's at the line. He sinks his first one, looking to go to the second one. (66-64), 5:53 remaining in the game. Fullerton College trying to hold on. Santiago trying to battle in as he sinks his second one, making it once again a 1-point game. I don't think we've strayed farther than a 3-point, 4-point lead?
4-point lead.
As Stevenson goes back to work, Carter's going to set his feet back down to Stevenson. Richardson's going to take it. And McCobb, he's going to set his feet. A lot of movement going on for Fullerton College. They're trying to find somebody open, and McCobb seems to be the man. A deep downtown 3, money on the shot. 69-65, 5:30 left in the game, and Jenkins is going to take it out himself. A little bit of sense of urgency for the Hawks as they come out. Jenkins almost got his pocket picked. He's going to put a contested mid-range shot, and wow, that's just something you can't coach there, as Santiago is going to burn a timeout. Your score is, with 5:20 remaining in the game, Fullerton College 69, Santiago 67.
Now, it's too late to try
Don't forget, guys, this is Fullerton College basketball on SportsNetUSA.net. And you look at the comparison in the last two offensive buckets for both teams. Fullerton, good ball reversal, got the ball in the middle of the floor, reversed it to McCobb for an open 3, made it look easy. A little bit more effort on SCC's side, as Jenkins is doing everything to keep them going. In this second half, he's got 27 points now. Henderson with 20, but they're more one-on-one trying to get up and down as they're down by 2.
Yeah, Jenkins is doing a lot of work by himself just to get buckets. that's what it seems like that they're going to rely on down the stretch. I mean, it's too late in the game. There's 5:20 left. It's too late in the game to try to get Roderick going. If he gets an open shot, sure, go ahead and take it. But to try to get him going or to force the ball to him it's a lost cause right now. They're better off living with Jenkins trying to get a shot or setting him up some kind of way.
Your 5 out on the court. Your 5 out on the court. Garrity, Henderson, Jenkins, Garvin, and Mater. Your 5 out on the court for Fullerton. Carter, Stevenson, Richardson, Reedus, and McCall. As we go back to work here with 5:15 to work with, and Richardson's going to take control of himself. Nice drive down, nice spin, trying to work that right side, trying to draw the contact, but puts it up. Very contested. Got a little dead drop, so to speak, and that's 71-67 in favor with 5 minutes left. The Hawks, a little bit of urgency now. Nice screen set by Garvin. Dumps it back out to Garvin. Wide open look at the top of the key. Nothing doing. That's not Garvin's bread and butter, so to speak. And Richardson with probably the easiest rebound he's had all game, right into his arms.
And we thought Garvin had 5 fouls previously. That other foul was not called on him, so he stays with 4.
Thank you very much for the update as Richardson goes back to work. Fancy ball hand in there. Oh, almost got his pocket pick there from Henderson. He's coming in from the right. The foul's going to be called on Garrity.
And if you watch Richardson, when he's attacking the rack right now, he's got Garrity on him. And although Garrity may be the taller player, Jason Richardson is bullying him to get to the rack and then trying to finesse him with a nice spin move or a crossover to get by.
Right. And Garrity might be, as you mentioned, he might be taller, but Richardson's just bigger and stronger. And you can just see, for you folks at home, you can just see the comparison, Richardson and Garrity. There's just no comparison as Richardson sinks the first one, substituting in for the Hawks. Troy Rechtenwald. Rechtenwald to give Garvin a break with 4 fouls. And Richardson sunk both in a game that points are so important. Very important to shoot well from the free throw line.
And Desmond Rowan's going to sub in now for Ronnie Reedus for the Hornets.
Fullerton College usually does exceedingly well, 69% from the charity stripe, as Jenkins goes back to work with 4:26 remaining in the game. Hornets in the lead, 73-67. Rechtenwald trapped on top of the key there, and McCobb got a paw on it. Henderson somehow came up with it, and just like that, Garrity's looking for a contested three-pointer from the corner, nothing doing, and Carter's got it, and Fullerton College going the opposite way. I don't know how Henderson came up with that.
And now the Hornets are looking to slow it down now that they're in control.
As Richardson's going to dump it back down to Stevenson. Stevenson to Richardson seems to be a popular duo as Richardson drives down the left side. Questionable pass to Rowan. Rowan trapped on the baseline, looking for something deep, and Carter's open from the corner. Sunk it and one. A chance for a rare 4-point opportunity. You don't see that often in basketball, but McCobb, everything fell in line, wide open, and sunk the 3, and he's going to head to the line and shoot 1.
Boy, A.J. Garrity did a poor closeout and just absolutely nailed Reese on that three-pointer. He had already released the ball, but he got hit on the landing, and he got flattened.
And Santiago working a little bit against themselves with 3:50 remaining in the game. Fullerton College 77. Santiago 67 as Jenkins takes it out. Passes it down to Rechtenwald. Rechtenwald has Rowan on him. Back down to Jenkins. Jenkins is going to drive. Nice mid-range shot. Nothing doing. Off the tip. And it looks like Stevenson jumped a tad earlier, and they're going to call.
It's off. It's a defensive foul.
Huh. I'm surprised. I thought Rechtenwald had stepped out. Stepped out of bounds.
He got hit on the face on that rebound, and he tried to get through. It was a loose ball.
So Rechtenwald will head to the line. He'll shoot 2. 77-67, 3:35 remaining in the game. Very important points here for Santiago. Sunk the first one, substituting in Xavier Preston, Ronnie Reedus for the Hornets, Preston for the Hawks. And with Reedus coming in, that can only mean one thing: focusing and keying in on rebounds.
And altering shots on the inside. Oh, yes, Jenkins is still in. So when Jenkins drives to the rack, they're probably going to have Reedus come over and do a little shot blocking.
And Carter struggling to find somebody. A full court press here, and Stevenson was the man, the open man, but full court press proven to be deadly here for Fullerton College. They can't get the ball on the plus side of the half court. as McCobb's going to dump it off to Reedus. Reedus puts it up, and one easy 2 points there for Reedus, using his height, using his muscle, using everything pretty much to get that easy 2 points there, and he'll head to the line and shoot one. Substituting in for the Hawks, Sean Mader. Substituting in for the Hornets will be Desmond Rowan when they give him the green light. So Reedus, he'll shoot two. 79-69, 324 seems to be the largest lead of the night for, no, excuse me, it's not the largest lead of the night for, they opened up with an 11-point run, didn't they? 10-point lead for Fullerton College, 79-69, 324. Reedus sunk the first one, and Rowan substituting in. Your 5 out on the court for Fullerton. Carter, Rowan, McCobb, Stevenson, and Richardson. For Santiago, Jenkins is controlling the ball, is going to jump down that left side of the line. And the basket did indeed count, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
The basket does count. Thank you very much to the PA announcer. But your 5 out on the court for the Hawks is Henderson, Rechtenwald, Jenkins, Mader, and Preston. As Jenkins, once again, a very familiar side at the line. He'll find himself, and he'll shoot two.
And Khalil Stevenson fouls out of the game.
Now that is detrimental to Fullerton College, something they could not afford, as Vaj Rice and Nigel Carter substitute back in.
Jenkins, another free throw is good. He's been living at the free throw line tonight. That's an and one, actually, so they count it.
So your score is with 3:16 remaining in the game. Fullerton College 80, Santiago 72. Game starting to come a little out of reach for Santiago.
Yeah, this kind of ballooned a little bit, this lead, but it is still manageable. There's 3:16 left in the game. This is still completely manageable. They need to not get complacent, the Hornets.
And it's funny that you had mentioned this game is kind of ballooned, because I on the flip hand, thought this game had kind of gotten out of hand for Fullerton College when Coach Perry Webster got called for the technical. I thought things were beginning to unravel just a tad, as Richardson's going to find himself at the line. He'll shoot two. Sunk the first one, 81-72.
But once they settled in and shots started falling and they started getting more stops, things started falling into place for the Hornets.
Jenkins going to go back to work here. Richardson is his man. Lost control of the ball. Got his pocket picked. And McCobb is going the opposite way. He's going to go coast to coast. Nice finger roll. Got it. And that'll do it there with 3 minutes left remaining in the game. 83-72 in favor of Fullerton College, as Rocket Henderson is going to try to put a little pizzazz on it, and a deep three, and almost got it. And it does appear to be a defensive foul called on Roderick McCobb, pushing the back.
And Rodney Henderson just cannot find the bottom of the bucket away from the free throw line, and that is the Achilles heel of this team.
Correct.
When he's not on, that is a good night for you.
Correct. As Rechtenwald finds himself on the line, he'll shoot two. Waiting in the wing here to substitute in is Miles Garvin. Substituting in for the Hawks, Miles Garvin. Substituting in for the Hornets, Ronnie Reedus. So both big men substituting in for both teams.
And as you can see from the Hornets haven't been shooting completely lights out either, you know, so just them playing defense and living with Jenkins getting whatever shots that he's getting, even getting to the free throw line. They're up by 10.
83-73, 10-point lead in favor of Fullerton College. As Jay said, Richardson, he's going to slow it down a lot, and he's going to dribble it out just a bit. Rocket Henderson is his man. Nice screen there set by Ronnie Reedus. Foul called on Reedus, and I'm a bit...
They called a moving screen.
I didn't see any movement. Very interesting as Vaj Rice finds himself back in the game. Ronnie Reedus, short-lived out there on the court. Rechtenwald to inbound. Jenkins going back to work. Dixon there setting the field for his troops. Nice screen set there by Mader. Mader's been pretty hot beyond the arc, or at least willing to take shots, as Jenkins, nice drive down the right side. Got it up. Foul called.
And this is the game that it looks like they're going to play. They're going to live with Jenkins trying to get fouls and bring him back into this.
Timeout called by Fullerton College just as Miles Garvin substitutes in for the Hawks. So your score is, with 2:30 here, Fullerton College 83, Santiago College 73, and you're listening to Fullerton College basketball here on SportsNetUSA.net.
Now, if you look at what Fullerton is doing right now is Rodney's off. So Jenkins is getting all these shots. He's driving to the rack. They're fouling him. He's getting to the free throw line. He's making them, but they're living with it. Like I was saying before, they're up by 10 right now with him doing that. And that slows the game down, and that's something that they don't want, because when the game is quick, Jenkins is out there navigating the floor, and he's out there slithering in between defenders, getting easy layups, and that's what brings them back, and then they get momentum.
Right.
And if Rocket just stays cold for the rest of this game's in the bag for the Hornets, because they don't have enough firepower on that team.
I like that, but I do want to talk just for a minute before action resumes. Let's talk about the cold streak that Rocket Henderson's been on, taking a lot of questionable threes beyond the arc, hasn't been any lack of penetration. As you go back to action out here, doesn't appear to be any changes other than Miles Garvin, as previously mentioned when the timeout was called. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Fullerton College 83, Santiago 73, 10-point advantage in favor of Fullerton College. Antoine Jenkins finds himself at the free throw line. Got to imagine that free throw line has the foot imprints there from Jenkins.
Yeah.
Sunk both of them. Chips it down to an 8-point lead for the Hornets, 83-75.
And now the full court press is going to come in.
Now, why would you change it?
Yeah.
It's worked exceedingly well for Santiago.
But now they're going to try to do a trap.
As Jason Richardson, he's going to go to work down the right side. Couldn't trap him just in time, a little bit too speedy. McCobb to Richardson. Richardson back. Richardson's going to set. No need to rush if you're Richardson there, though. They might double him up there. Henderson, that'll draw a man free as McCobb's going to drew a baseline drive, put it up with the right hand, and that's going to be called an offensive foul. Coach Perry Webster in absolute disbelief there on the sideline. Substituting in for the Hawks, Mater, and for the Hornets, Desmond Rowan.
Now 2:10 left to go in the game. That's 4 fouls on Roderick McCobb, and the Hornets are up 83-75.
As Jenkins refusing to touch this ball to not let precious time tick off the clock as Jenkins goes to work. Nice screen there from Rechtenwald. Contested mid-range shot. Nothing but bottoms up there for Jenkins as that'll cut down the lead. 83-77. Fullerton College still nursing. Richardson in a full court press, struggling to get out of it. Santiago pretty much adapting it. McCobb in a bit of trouble. He's trapped at the top. Nigel Cart. Richardson with a nice move down the right side. Got it, and that'll fall through. 85-77, timeout called. 1:42 here, and you're listening to Fullerton College basketball here on SportsNetUSA.net.
All the points in which they were supposed to do a trap and get a steal or cause something to happen are all the points that the Hawks fell apart at in that possession right there. They needed to cause some kind of disruption and benefit from it, as in make them make a quick pass or make them make, a contested pass. The Hornets were getting time to get the pass, move, turn around, look, find the open dude, and pass the ball, and that's what happened down the whole court. They methodically worked their way down.
Yeah, I'm shaking my head in agreement with you, because I can't understand how Santiago Canyon College, how Santiago, they keep on allowing Fullerton College to get out of these full court presses. I mean, there are moments where Jason Richardson is absolutely alone and struggling to get past midcourt, but as you mentioned, it's very methodical. Every pass has an intention for Fullerton College. There's no wasted passes, no wasted touches. So you're 5 out on the court for Santiago. Henderson, Rechtenwald, Jenkins, and Mater. You're 5 out on the court for Fullerton College, as we'll get Stretley as Rowan, Richardson, McCobb, Carter, and Akil Reese, as Jenkins is going to go back to work. Henderson almost got doubled up there. In fact, no, he is getting doubled up. Contested fadeaway three, nothing doing off the rim, and Akil Reese came up Akil Reese comes up with the rebound there. Rowan's going to set from the right side, and he lost control of it in and out of his hands. And Rowan's going to lay out on the court there and kind of wonder how that happened. He had it right in his hands, flew right out.
Yeah, unfortunate bobble there, but it's going to be a foul and send. Looks like they're going to send Rocket to the line.
Rocket Henderson, a very familiar sight indeed from the free throw line, and he will shoot 2, if I'm not mistaken. Vaj Rice sitting in the wings just in front of the scorer's table, looking to sub in with 1:20 remaining.
And the free throw line, definitely a friendly place right now for Mr. Henderson.
Yeah, considering that the field has not. Henderson sinks his first one. 1:20 remaining. Santiago Canyon, 78. Fullerton College, 85. Sunk, both of them. Very important points. Very important points indeed. It is a 6-point game, 6-point lead, and a full court press there for Richardson. Richardson trying to get out of it, almost spun out of it, and that'll free it up there. Akil Reese going to help him out and be able to save him just a bit. Akil Reese back down to Richardson. Richardson getting doubled up once again. Wide open pass down to Vaj Rice. Rice is going to go up, spins, goes up. Oh, toilet bowl, nothing doing. Mater with the rebound. Jenkins going the opposite way.
They are really exploiting all the holes.
Absolutely. Jenkins, oh, what a floater, but nothing doing off the bat. Mater, another 3, just under a minute left to play here. Nothing doing, and Jason Richardson's going to slow it down. And Jason Richardson lost control of the ball, although judging by the reaction of the Santiago Canyon sideline, it does appear to be going Fullerton College's way.
Now, and Santiago Canyon has been running that full court press, especially in that last possession, the middle guy that's supposed to be in the middle of the floor to jump that pass or help with the trap has just been soft. He hasn't been around. He just has not been around.
Right, right. As Jason Richardson, he'll head to the line. He'll shoot a very important 2. Richardson sinks the first one. Substituting in, Dylan Banks. Your score is, with 43 seconds remaining left in this game, Fullerton College, 86. Santiago Canyon, 79, trying to hold on.
And after this free throw, you can bet that Santiago Canyon is going to just push it.
Oh, absolutely. There's no time. Jenkins no longer has the benefit to saunter down the court, as Jenkins is going to stream down the left side of the court, dip it off to Henderson. Henderson with a very questionable shot, nothing doing there. And Richardson's going to take that himself. Going full court press, Richardson is going to be fouled. And you got to think for Santiago, this is almost in a way self-torture. Richardson is not the man you want at the free throw line, but yet he's been the ball control. He's been the ball handler for Fullerton College.
And you can see Rocket on the other side definitely frustrated with himself with his performance in this game, because he knows that he can do a lot better than this from the field.
I'm laughing because he's had himself a game point-wise. .22 points tonight from the field, so I'm laughing a bit. 22 points, that's a solid night for any other player. As Richardson sinks both here, and time goes back to ticking off. 25 seconds remaining in the game. Jenkins taking it past midcourt. Jenkins, deep 3, nothing doing. Henderson coming up, strips it out of his hands, going to turn around. Easy put back for the 2 points there. And just like that, we have a 7-point lead. As to inbound is Richardson. Richardson is fouled almost immediately, and that'll send him to the line with 14 seconds remaining. And I think it's safe to say this game is all but over and out of reach for Santiago.
Yeah, and Santiago's going to have one more chance to get another win later on this week against Irvine Valley on the 15th at Irvine Valley College.
Let's talk a minute there just for previous games as Garvin substitutes in for the Hawks. Or not previous games, upcoming games.
But this is going to make things much more difficult for Santiago Canyon to get into the postseason with a loss today.
With 12 seconds remaining, Jenkins will take it past midfield, or excuse me, midcourt. Almost got his pocket picked here. 6 seconds remaining. Nice drive down the lane. Nobody's around him. Nobody should have been. No need to foul here. 89-83 Hornets resting comfortably, and that should do it. Your final score is Fullerton College 89, Santiago Canyon 83, and Jason Richardson.